everyone, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you've been having fun, and I do hope that you've been practicing and really enjoying yourself while doing it. So today we're going to continue with the portraiture elements, and we will be doing lips. So the last video we did was on noses. We did one on an eye, and then we went on to noses, and today we are going to go on to lips. The next video that we'll be doing, we'll put those portrait pieces together, and by then, with all of your practice, it should be easy for all of you. So let's just have a look at a lip. Well, I'm showing you one that is from the side, and we will be drawing this one first because it is the easiest to draw, being half a lip, and you can clearly see that there is a beautiful skew triangle and one almost at the bottom as well. And you can see that the top of the lip is in shadow. Now this happens all the time. Your top lip is in shadow, and that's why your bottom lip often gets sunburnt before the top lip starts feeling any sunburn at all. I'm talking about obviously when you're not lying down sun tanning, but when you're walking around just normal sort of everyday life. The next one we're going to be doing is going to be slightly more challenging. This is a shortened view, and we will be attempting to do those lips as well, and then we will be attempting to do this male lip, which is straight on. So let's get to it. As always, I start with my 2H, and I'm going to be enlarging it so that you can all see clearly, and it's literally getting that shape. You can see that the top of the lip where it goes down in the middle there, and you can see that it is slightly open, but we're not going to worry too much about that. All that we are doing is just getting this beautiful shape in. You can see that the bottom lip is a lot bigger than the top lip, and just has a very, very lovely shape. Let's get in the bottom of the chin. Let's get in this part here, because also underneath one's bottom lip there is a shadow that shows here, which is lovely to get into. Let's get that shadow in. Block out the shadow at the bottom of the lip. Let's go across the top. You can see that it goes straight before it goes down. So let's get that shape in. And let's get this top shape in where it is slightly open. Let's do that top part. I forget what this is called. It goes up to the nose. There is a special name for it. Yeah, I cannot remember, to be honest with you. Right, let's shade in the whole of the top lip. Let's get this all shaded in, because that is showing a lot of shade. As always, with everything that we draw, we will be using our erasers and our darker pencils to give it depth. So no need to worry about how much shading, how little shading you have on your lip at this time while you're starting the drawing. Let's just blend it all the way, blend the bottom part as well, the entire lip, blend that lovely shadow that shows under the chin, and let's just blend a little bit at the top here, just so that we know we are looking at and we are referring to lips. Right, so let's start with the shape now. So this lip has got quite a nice indent here, so let's get that by shading. And let's get this bottom part here with shading too. So you can see that it's open, and that's the other side of the lip. So we're going to make sure that that is a little bit darker. Let's move to the 2B to get that shading in. Let's just do a little bit here, just so that it shows that that is the inside of the mouth. But this is very, very important, this part of the mouth here. This is what gives the actual shape and the depth to the lips. And we want to make sure that that can be seen. Give it a little bit more shading here. Let's take it down there, and let's do this bottom part of the lip here too. I've made mine too round. You can see that I've gone round here instead of up straight. You can see that that goes up. It goes up straight and then around here at the bottom. So let me take that off. It does protrude the same width as what the top one does. So let's make sure that we get that. Let's get the shading at the bottom here. You can see that there's a lot more shading at the bottom because obviously it's not a flat piece of body part. It has curves and a lot of shape to it, being lips. Lips are amazing to draw, they really are. They're so interesting as well, and very, very, they all vary tremendously, so are very interesting to draw, I have to say. Get that shadow underneath there. Okay, I want to add a little bit more to the top part here, just to show that that is slightly separate to that piece at the back. I'll get this shape done properly here. This is very, very subtle. This here is very, very subtle. You can see that it goes up and around, comes down. There's a lot of shade here in this corner. And there's a bit more shading happening here as we go down towards the bottom. And the bottom part of the lip is a lot more shaded than the rest of it. So I'm going to take this off. Sorry, I didn't take that off. Let's shade this again, blend it in again with our blender. Blenders are absolutely unbelievable tools. They worth every penny. I still haven't found a way of cleaning them. At my workshop yesterday, somebody mentioned, had I tried wet wipes, and I haven't. It might be something to try. I'll give it a bash, but I'll only do it when I'm not going to be using them, because I would imagine that they would take a while to dry. So I'll try it out when I know I'm not going to be using them for any particular length of time. Let's take that light out. And let's take out a little bit here, give it a bit of depth. Let's blend this, let's blend this back up very, very gently. Give this the shadow that it deserves. You notice that lips, they're not really a solid line as such on the edges. So even though the color changes between the facial part of the face onto the lip, it isn't a very, very solid, definite line. It sort of blends as it goes into the color, which I think is absolutely beautiful, because when you're doing watercolor, or even when you're using graphite like we are here, you can make that a very, very indefinite line and it just gives it a lovely, lovely soft look. Here we use our blend, we use our 2B. I'm only using a 2B at this stage, not using any other deep or darker pencil. I don't think we need it today. We can put in all this other detail if you like. You can put in these lines that are here. Should rather take them out with the Tombow once you've shaded it in. But I would say that there is our lip. Quite happy with that. Let's take this up here. I'm very happy with that. I think that looks very good, and it's definitely a lovely pair of lips. This is so important underneath the chin, this shadow. When you are drawing a portrait, this just adds so much character to the drawing. Right, that's the first pair of lips done. Let's move on to the next. This one is slightly more challenging. Have a look at the shape though. Remember, we're doing shapes. This goes round almost like a flower. Then it comes down into that beautiful shape, and that goes up and around as well. Don't worry about the teeth. Let's just worry about the shape of the lip. So let's try and emulate that shape. And it doesn't matter if they're not 100% right. This is all about practice, and this is all about trying. This has got nothing to do with getting it 100% right. This is just practice, and as I say, we're trying them out. The bottom lip comes inside, the top lip obviously comes round, and it's got a lovely little kink in it before it goes up. Now let's have a look at the line of this. Let me try and get this line right. So from there to there, I need to bring this further. I need to bring this down a bit and bring this up. I am using my 2B, but purely because it's easier, and you can probably see it a lot better on the video than my using my 2H. It's a little opening, and then this goes down. I love the little kinks. Can you see it goes back up on the side here? So it turns up here, and then this top almost disappears into there, and the bottom comes around like that. Right, let's do our shading. So here we can see that this lip is in a lot of light. So we're going to shade in the entire lip. We're not going to worry about the teeth. We're just going to shade in the lip, and then we can pull out some of the highlights. Looks a bit like that Mick Jagger album. Those of you who know Mick Jagger and his albums, I do come from that era. So hence my thinking that it looks like that album. There you can see that shadow under the lip that goes onto the chin. Let's put that in. And this is what I'm talking about with chins. You can see this chin is nice and round here, and then there's a slight kink at the bottom. So if we get that shape in there, then we've got that sort of shape of the chin. You can see that this comes across here, and there's a bit of shadow underneath. So the light is coming more from that side than it is from this side. And there's shadow there, which is in that little crease that goes up to the nose. This is a bit rounder, so let me just get that a bit rounder. Right, let's blend. Let's blend this. Like I say to you, please don't get hung up on your shape or what you're not doing, because that's not what these tutorials are all about. These tutorials are to help guide you and just have you practice and enjoy, and I promise you it will all come together. Practice obviously with everything. Nothing's going to happen if you don't practice, but you'll be amazed at what you achieve by practicing. And if you're keeping your sketchbook up to date like we've spoken about, and we put this all together at the end, we sew it together, and you have from tutorial number 1 plus your own work in there that you're practicing and that you're doing, you will just have such a sense of pride when you open it and have a look at it and see what you have achieved. There's that. So now one can get a little confused with all these shadows because they're going into the lip and they're under the lip, and it does detract from the actual lip that you are drawing. But have a look at it, because that is darker than what the lip is. So let's do that. Let's get that in there so that we can define that difference between the lip and that section that goes across the top here. It is darker. Perhaps we should go to a 4B for that. Get that depth in there. You don't have to use much graphite. Remember how much moves around, how much you can move this around once you have put that graphite down. Let's get this in here. You can see that that is much darker and deeper. Let's get that in there as well, and let's get this little piece of shadow in there on that side. Okay, now we can work a bit more shadow here, because you can see that although it's a similar tone, it does differentiate from the rest of the lip. Let's do that. Right, let's have a look and see. Let's blend. That's the top part there of the lip. Just blend it out. Let's get that blended. Get that kink blended that goes down underneath the lips. And just that shape of that chin. Let's get that blended. And let's get that in the corner there. Right, let's work on these lips now. So you can see that there are a lot of lines in the lips. You can't really call these wrinkles, because I mean lips I don't think have wrinkles. Let's fill this in as if there are no teeth. Let's just make it a dark area. Give that a bit of depth. It's just a bit of an open mouth, so we can forget about that. Right, let's work on this area. So if we put in some of these lines, got a lot of lines here at the bottom. Got these lines that come in around the top here to the bottom. We've got this shape of the lip, and then we've got this that comes up and goes down, back up the other side again. This part here has got a lot of lines on it. Let's get this bottom part of the lip in that Let's just use that as shading. Let's get this right here, because that goes up and then in. That is the middle of the lip here that we are seeing, but because we are seeing it at that angle, it's showing as an indentation. Let's get these. Like I said to you, it doesn't have to be perfect. We are practicing, and the more we practice, the better we get. Let's just blend that out like that. That does have shadow there on that side. You can take this up. You can take this shadows just slightly across the top of the lip. Now you can see it's starting to get formation and looking round like a lip. And let's blend those lines in so that they're not as obvious as the drawing of them looks. You can use your blender, your blending stump, and just put this in at the bottom. Those little lines. Blending stump is just the most incredible tool for adding detail. As you can see, there are some lines on the side here that you can hardly see, but they are there. So let's get those in, and in the top lip, especially here in the middle, you can see has a lot of detail. We're not going to do all of it. We're going to do some of it so that you can see that it is a lip. Your brain will read it as a lip. We can't put in all these unbelievable fine lines at the top here. That would be hyper-realistic drawing, and we don't really want to be doing that at this stage. What we are wanting now is that our brain recognizes it as a lip. Hyper-realistic drawing, hyper-realism you can go into at a later stage when you realize that that is what you want to be doing. But that's not what we're going to be doing here at all. Right, so I'm going to make this a bit deeper here again. Give that a bit more depth. And then we're going to take our Tombow eraser and let's just take out some of these highlights. This is where the magic starts happening. Across the bottom of the lip, you can take out some of those fine lines as well. Give it a bit of depth. And if you would like to, across the top, you can just give an indication of fine lines so that everybody knows that that is a lip. This has got a lot of light on it, so we're going to take out that over there. I'm going to blend this in. There's a piece of light across the bottom. You can see this piece of light here, so I will take that out with our trusty Tombow. Let's take that out. So we're going to basically take it across because that's what that light is doing. Let's just blend this back up in again. I've taken out a bit too much. And I'm not happy with, I see that there's quite a lot of light underneath there, which I haven't done. So let me just take that out. Give that a bit more shape like that. And with the blender, I just want to put this in. Take that out. Because that is shadow. And there we go. We have our second set of lips. Let's try a third one. I think we do have time to do a third one. These are straight on, and these are male lips. These are female lips that we've done so far. And if I take this photograph back down, you can see the eyes at the top, the eyeball at the top, and literally what you see is that the corner of the eye is in line with the start of the iris. And that is with most people, that the corner of the mouth is in line with their irises. So that's something for you to remember when you are doing portraiture, but that is something that we will go through when we do it. So as you can see here, these are turned up, and on this one they almost it's turned down. So this is a different sort of set of lips. So let's give it a go. I'm going to use my 2B so that you can see it. And again, as I say, this is purely for practice. This is not to win an award or anything. We are practicing. And as I said to you before, the more we practice, the more we learn. Let's go up, I come down a bit. Whoops. And I go back down that side again. So it's straight on the sides, then round. Okay, so we've got that shape. And then it doesn't, on this side, you can see it doesn't start directly on the end of the crease. It starts slightly before it, and we've got a nice round full bottom lip. The other side it does end where the crease starts, so let's do that. You can see I'm drawing it very, very roughly. I'm not trying to have one line here or two lines. So if we look at a lip from the front, we literally have those sort of shapes that happen. These are these are the pieces that generally dictate the shape of it, these round circles, and this top lip generally does indent onto the bottom lip. So let's blend. Let's give it a nice blend, even with those circles. It does not matter. Let's just shade in the shaded parts. You can see that the light is coming from this side, and this side is in more shadow than the other side. Let's blend, get some shape going. Remember, it doesn't matter if you feel that you haven't got the right shape. We can always use our erasers to remove what you feel is too much or not enough. Okay, round, and we have this shadow under the chin, and we have this shadow in this area here that goes up to the nose. So you can clearly see here the graduation from the face into the lip. Even though this is a different color, there's no solid line here. So although I've done a solid line there, let's just take it away because it isn't a solid line. And when you're doing watercolor, the most amazing watercolors I've seen of lips is when the artist has literally ignored the line and basically taken the watercolor out into the skin. It's the skin color itself, so there's no definite line there. So we have a beautiful highlight here, we have a beautiful highlight here. So let's take the lip out, as I've just discussed with you now, into the skin area, facial area. So I've used a 2H, so I've already made a problem for myself, and this is why a 2B, my apologies. This is why I'm saying to you that to start with a 2H is so much better, because I've already created a situation now where I've got lines here that I shouldn't have, and I'm not sure that I'm going to manage to get those out But let's see what we can do. I'm putting in the shadows that I see. I see a shadow here. I see a shadow here. I see a shadow there and there. That's what I'm busy with at the moment. We've already put this one in, which is the shape of the lips as they meet. And then let's blend again. So this basically gives it its shape, which by now you all know that the tonal values and the shading and the blending is what gives you the depth and the 3D effect of whatever it is that you are drawing. And as we increase the shadow, the shapes and the depth and the tonal value of the lips, then obviously everything else changes, and that includes this shadow underneath the lip that goes into the chin. Right, so here we can see that there's light. There's light here, there's light across the top here, and a touch over there. There's a big light value here. So we're going to take that out, and there's a bit of a light value underneath. So let's start with the top. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser, and I'm going to shape it like that. And I'm just going to gently take that out of the top, because I want a softer graduation than what the Tombow would probably give me. Let's take it across the top there. And then it goes onto the outside. Can you see? It goes onto the outside of the lip on the other side. So let's take that out. And I just want to take this shadow out, which is this one down here. Let's do that. That's come out beautifully. And on this side here, it sort of disappears into the face. Let's take that out. Give it that bit more fullness. I'm going to use my blender again. I want to just blend this, the top here. I don't want such a definite line as I've gotten there, although this does, it is a definite shadow. I'm going to use my Tombow now to remove that, because that is an important highlight. I didn't quite get that with my kneaded eraser. Let's take this out as well. Okay, now these lips look skewed, which they aren't at all. So let me just try and rectify that. There we go. Starting to look a bit better. So this is what I'm talking about when I say to you that you can lift and correct and all kinds of things that one can do with graphite. This is why I love this medium so much, because it's just so easy to work with. So I've put that all back in again, all that blending, because I'm not happy with how that has come out. And you can do the exact same thing. If you followed me, I do apologize. But this is what this is all about, this tutorial. Just want to get that. There we go. I'm happier with that. So I'm going to pick up some light here. Pick up a bit of light here that I can see. And then let's put this line in. You can see that it's actually a shaped line. It's a very, very nice line indeed. And that will just give it a bit more character. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. But I just want to get that line in there. And then I'm going to blend it down a bit. The bottom part, not the top part. There we go. That's our third lip, set of lips. So it hasn't quite gone to the way I would like it to go. I can see that I've got mistakes, and that is fine, because that's what my sketchbook is all about, is allowing myself to make mistakes. And I would like you to think about that and take the pressure off of yourself. I've shown you that it doesn't always work out exactly how you want it to work out. And that is absolutely fine, because what we will be doing is when you practice, that's when you make perfect and you end up with a beautiful sketchbook, and you can see where your mistakes are, and you can have a look at them, and you can think back in a very, very lovely way that, oh, look at that, I made that mistake, and you can remember it and know that you're not going to repeat it. And that is what your sketchbook is all about. Fond memories, whether they are good sketches or not. I'm going to try and lift that light out again. It's not happy with this side. Right, there we go. I think that looks better. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and I hope that you practice and that you use the techniques that we have gone through today. You can do them as abstract, hyper-realistic as you like. It's your sketchbook, your drawings. You can add as much detail, leave out as much detail. But it's basically your sketchbook and your drawings, and you need to have fun above all else. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope your sketchbook is filling up nicely, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you for joining me.